What is a constraint? This is the question I get asked a lot. Steve, we know you discussed the constraint-led approach. We know you talk about constraints all the time, but what is a constraint? And there's a lot of misconception on constraints. And I've seen it recently with organizations, national governing bodies, businesses who are looking at adapting CLA or constraint-led coaching and much more. I want to start with what constraints are not. Constraints are not rules or practices that constrain the player. And I think the name doesn't do it justice. And I know a lot of ecological dynamics practitioners and researchers say the name isn't great, but the name is what it is. It's not to constrain the player. And a lot of the time, and I made this mistake when I first started doing this approach, I would constrain to constrain. And that means I would constrain an activity to get a movement out of a player, a single movement or a single solution. And that's just isolated coaching again. That's just isolated technical coaching. So that's not what coach-led approach is. Constraint-led approach is when you constrain a activity to get affordances. And affordance is an opportunity to take action. And I will start doing little videos about all these terminologies because I think it's important. Because I still get confused about it. I still get my head around it. So I now constrain to afford. So can I manipulate a game that's going to either highlight or make attractive certain opportunities for action compared to others? And within the constraint-led approach, there's not just one way to play. I will constrain an activity where I'll offer multiple opportunities for the player to play. And in the little clip, which I'm going to show you now, and the game's relatively simple. If a player wins the point outside the middle zone, they win 3. If they win a point inside the middle, they win 1. So I'm trying to make the affordance of going to the outside of the middle attractive. The player can do that in multiple different ways, and you'll see it in the clip. I'm actually playing in the clip. I will use my return to serve to really try and win those big 3 points. And you'll see in a little bit as well that me and the player are trying to get the ball outside the middle more to try and win bigger points. And the point system there, again, is trying to highlight the affordance, trying to make the player find opportunities to take action. So that's what a constraint is. Looking. That's what a constraint is. A constraint is not restricting the player to a movement solution. It's manipulating the game, the task in this case, to offer affordances, opportunities to take action, so the player can find multiple ways to play the game. If you have enjoyed this video, or you have any questions on constraint-led coaching, especially when it comes to tennis coaching, leave it down below. And until tomorrow, check out mytenniscoaching.com, and I'll see you soon.